we say good morning, I think of Gracie's Corner, because that is what I would watch all the time with my niece. All right, everyone, I'm going to call the docket at 9. It is now, according to my computer, 8:58. Bashan,
Yes, Judge.
my Saints are not moving the way they're supposed to be moving.
Not even seeing games yesterday.
What?
Someone. Okay.
Okay, do you know what I did watch on Netflix though?
What did you watch?
They had this making of the group called Cat's Eye, I think. They have some catchy songs that are, what do you call that worm that gets in your an earworm? I can't get that song out of my head. Yeah, hello. But I did watch the Alabama Georgia game. That brought back memories of that commercial, the thrill of victory, the agony of defeat. I mean, it went, the stadium went silent after Georgia scored. And then next thing you know, defense breaks down. And then Alabama scores. Then it ends in an interception. All right, everyone, I am going to call the docket. When I call the docket, please stand and let me know you are here. If you don't stand, I'm going to assume you're not here, and a warrant may be issued for your arrest. Roxanne Hutchinson. Roxanne, oh, that's the wrong docket. Huh. If she were here, I'd be like, you're early. But Sean, she would be like 3 days early. All right, Johnny Ruiz Jr. Thank you. Guadalupe Rope custody, Gamboa custody, Eduardo Porter III. Thank you. Michael Kilgore custody, Cavanta Thomas. Thank you. Vincent Alfonso Jr. Ricardo Garcia custody, Armando Orozco custody, Araceli Robles. Sergio Maris. Am I pronouncing that last name correctly? Shouldn't that be a rolling of the R or something?
Nice.
Yes. All right. See, sometimes we roll the R, sometimes we don't. Ronald Collins, custody. Tamika Studemeyer. Where are you? Thank you. Selena Lamone. Christopher Trevino, custody. Ariante Emmanuel Duran de la Cruz. Ariante Emmanuel Duran de la Cruz. Megan Kathleen Conacher. Michael Johnson, custody. Brenda Sanchez Carpenter. Willie Fields. We may have a full box today. Briella Butler. Gassan Kadir. John Swamy. Thank you. Brandon Bowman, custody. Felipe Lopez. Andrea Castillo. Is she in custody?
Down one.
All right. Andrea Castillo. Andre Moody, custody. Desiree Tina. Jose Casares, custody. Armando Rodriguez, custody. Heather Moore, custody.
Here, man.
Thank you. Zachary Deke, Jason Montez. Isabelle Garza, custody. All right, is there anyone who's present and your name was not called? All right, attorneys, you know the rules. Please follow the rules. Thank you. And to the people in the audience, when the inmates come out, you're not allowed to talk to them. You're not allowed to say hi to them. If you do any of those things, what's going to end up happening is you're going to be asked to leave the courtroom. And the only time you'll be back in this courtroom is if you are as a witness. When you talk to the inmates, guess what? The deputies are going to put you out of the courtroom because those are security issues. When you take photos of the inmates, guess what? The deputies are going to put you out of the courtroom because one, you're interfering with the smooth running of the court, and two, those are security issues. All right, everyone, let's have a great Monday. Hey. Could I see the file on Swanley, please?
Yes, sir.
Even as a PSI judge, but we didn't.
No, it's supposed to be a plea. We haven't done the plea.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Jason, did you see the Georgia Alabama game?
I started watching it, I noticed the score, stopped watching it, and then luckily I put it on in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And that was a spectacular game, but the last two touchdowns, it looked like they just didn't want to tackle them.
Oh, yeah.
Because like that, especially the Alabama one, where he popped up and those two guys run together, and the other guy turned around and has him. And he just sort of goes, I was like, I couldn't believe it. I was like sitting there going,
Well, anyway, I was texting Phineas because we always text each other when the
Yeah.
game's on. And I said, this is for Alabama Georgia game. He's like, what? Did anybody not get off the bus? What's going on? And so then he was like, it's over.
Yeah.
And so then I texted him, I'm like, this is the score. He's like, what? I need to find a television. Right. And so then if you could see the crowd,
oh God, that was,
when Georgia scored the touchdown,
Which one?
the crowd just deflated, people praying,
oh yeah.
you know,
crying.
tears streaming. Yeah, one girl was like tears streaming down her face. And then next thing you know, touchdown the other way. Then the crowd went wild.
I couldn't believe it.
And then Georgia was moving. I thought Georgia was going to end up scoring.
I thought they were gonna hit at least a field goal, well, because it was, no, wait, what was the score? It was 3 points, right?
Yes, 3 points.
34-31 or something.
Mhm.
I was like, they're gonna kick a field goal, this thing goes to overtime, and it just did, I mean, they threw an interception.
Yeah.
Because I mean, they were almost within field goal range when that interception happened,
Yeah.
so
And I was like,
it was one of those games that where like you just lost hope. And I felt sorry for Georgia. I almost wanted Georgia to win them because I felt bad for them.
yeah.
And I was like, they came all the way back and they fell short. So
Well, I think Cornelius and I talked about this. And we're like, yeah, it's good to have those kind of losses because now the next team you play,
hey, they're coming up on. I need them to beat in about 3 weekends from now. I need them to beat somebody for me.
oh, I know who you're talking about. And you know what? That will be a test.
Oh yeah,
We're going to see what
for
happens.
both. Because that'll determine whether Georgia maybe even makes it into the playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
And then it'll determine if they're truly.
I actually think the way they have the playoffs set up,
Mhm.
I don't think there can be as many SEC teams.
I don't know how they have it set up because is it 12 teams?
Well, it's 12 teams, but I think they're doing like if you win your conference or something,
You're guaranteed a spot.
I think so.
And you know, I'm never really, I mean, I understand conferences, but it's like SEC, sorry, like the top 5 teams could probably take on about every other team out there.
Well, I used to say that, but then I will tell you one thing that I saw was, you remember one year where Appalachian State beat some top team? I think they beat Michigan or something. Everybody's like, what?
Yeah. I
You
remember
can't
that.
sleep on that, and you can't sleep on the schools with the hyphenated names.
Oh, guys.
It's just like
Well, well, Northern Illinois.
Northern Illinois.
Beats Notre Dame. Now, to be fair, Notre Dame is always ranked in the top 10 every
Which,
year. And they should not
okay.
be.
Yeah.
They should not be. I mean, I'm sorry, but I mean, they're good school.
Yeah.
They're top 25, but they're not like, I mean, they had them at number 5 at one point this season after they beat us at A&M and they put them at number 5. I'm like, they are not a number 5 team. The following weekend, they lost to Northern Illinois.
Yeah.
I was like, they deserve that.
So, and Cornelius and I, we ended up trying to find out where exactly is Northern Illinois. We're assuming it's in Northern
I would
Illinois.
assume that, but it's probably like in Indiana.
Yeah, so we're like,
It's one of those, that weird, what was it, Miami? The
Yes.
Miami in Ohio?
oh, yeah.
And I was just like, oh, Miami's playing. And like that, years ago, this is years ago before, but I was like, wait a minute. Miami in Ohio? Why do they have a Miami in Ohio?
And then SMU, I forgot who SMU played, but they beat someone, and SMU,
SMU had it about 5, 6 years ago, had that team that really well after, I mean, it was the first team that they got ranked. It was the first time they've been ranked since
since the death penalty.
the death
Yeah.
penalty, which is sort of comical considering
Oh, yeah.
now that every school is allowed to do it.
Oh, yeah. But anyway, they ended up losing a game, but who did they beat? They beat somebody. And we're just like, oh my gosh, not SMU.
Well, it's a whole different dynamics now.
Yeah.
Because NIL. I mean, and like that kid at UNLV that said, I'm leaving because you'll not pay me my money.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and then Johnny, who was it? Reggie Bush and stuff. And several other players are suing their alma maters
Mhm.
and the NCAA and stuff for prior monies for NIL and stuff. I'm like, okay, you can't, like, that's a long time ago.
Oh, yeah.
But Reggie
But-
Bush, they took away his Heisman. They finally gave it back,
Yeah.
which
I would have been like, yeah, I don't want it anymore.
Yeah.
I would have just had someone to make me another one.
Yeah, well, I mean, the only plus of that is that he gets to vote now because previous Heisman like players get to play, like they won, they get to vote,
Mhm.
and I'm like, it's a cool. I mean, you're with all those other guys,
Well,
it's
see,
it's
this
more
is
than
what
that.
was always one of my pet peeves about college football and other college sports. If a coach does something
Mhm.
like not recruiting within the rules, the
Oh.
players are punished,
Right.
and then that coach just goes to another
Oh
school.
yeah, yeah, because
And
that
it's fine.
well, look at Michigan.
Yeah.
And he went to the Chargers,
Yeah.
and then like I'm like, whatever they did, I don't think it was that big a deal. But the fact is, the school's getting punished, but not him, because they can't punish him. I was like, what could they do? And I-
Well, they could put some sort of
lifelong
two-year
ban.
ban or something.
Yeah,
But I always thought that is so wrong.
I remember A&M got sanctioned years ago
Mhm.
for the same thing. They couldn't go to a bowl game for like 2 years. It was what Jackie Sherrill did. And he had a great directing crew, defense and everything. And then he went to Mississippi State.
Mhm.
Or no, the what is it? Southern Mississippi, the Golden Eagles.
Yeah.
He went there, had a great program there, but the A&M got sanctioned for 3 years because of what he did.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the players, it was.
See, you know what? This is what you have to do. I remember one year, and this is when the Mad Hatter
Oh, yeah.
was
Oh,
coach,
I
right?
love that. I just like that one.
But they were going to sanction them. And so he was always good with media, right?
Oh, God, I love it.
So instead of doing that, we sanction ourselves, and everybody's like,
Oh,
they've
okay.
already sanctioned themselves. But it was funny too. I remember when there was the year we won the championship,
Mhm.
and they were asking him about should LSU be in the big game.
Yeah.
And so at that time, I think LSU, we had 2 losses, and you know what he said, and made it the conversation. He said, "We never lost a game in regulation," and everybody's like, "No, they have not." Then they're undefeated.
Oh, well, one of the best years, I still think the 2 best teams of all time, almost. I mean, just in a given college playoff a year or just year was Alabama and LSU when they in the regular season, Alabama lost to LSU
Don't even bring that up because because Alabama should not have been in that championship game. at LSU. We had already played them.
It was the best. It was one of the best defenses on both sides.
Yeah,
I mean, when was the last time you saw like a 9-6? Like,
and everybody was upset.
I thought it was a great game.
Oh, yeah.
It was a great game. I mean, LSU was up there.
Yeah, it broke my heart, but hey, it was a good game.
Yeah, it was a good game. That's what you play.
Yeah. Are the parties ready on John Swamy?
Yes, Your Honor.
Judge, would I be able to have the duplicate file that we were?
Sure, no problem. Let me find that.
Yes, sir.
There you go.
Thank you so much.
Welcome. All right, court is calling 2024 CR 6596, State of Texas versus John Swamy. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
All right. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state? Defense?
Renee Munoz.
And are you Mr. Swamy?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, counsel, have you received all of the discovery? Did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor, that's correct.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Swamy, did you review the document entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yeah.
On both counts?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you review court admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of abandoning or endangering a child
Yes, ma'am.
with intent to return in both counts?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, that's a state jail felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Indeed, yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
In my opinion, he does.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Judge, that's correct.
Mr. Swamy, has anyone threatened you, forced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea? Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, there's no application for community supervision and the state is recommending deferred adjudication. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense is at the plea.
Yes, Your Honor.
State is at the plea.
Yes, sir.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, Judge.
Outside the agreement, the state is recommending that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 4 years. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations? Then to the offense as charged in count 1, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest, Your Honor.
To count 2, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? State, any evidence?
State offer State's Exhibit 1 with attachments.
No objection.
All right, state, you may be excused. Did you review the document entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations with your attorney?
Which one you got?
Yes, all people.
Oh, yes, sir.
Again, did you understand you have a right to a jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you sign the document in all the appropriate places? Court, and did you understand that the state would not be presenting any witnesses at this time, that the court will review state's exhibits 1 and attachments and base my decision on sufficiency of the evidence solely based on those stipulations? Did you understand? Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence state's exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing state's exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
If we may, Your Honor, yes.
All right, anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Yes, Your Honor, briefly. I would like to, at this time, take the chance to tender this update letter from the Johnny Morales pretrial bond officer since August 20th, Judge. I showed it to the states. It's him completing successfully inpatient treatment at Lifetime Recovery. So he did do that inpatient facility, Judge, and he's been compliant with aftercare thereafter. Also, Judge, he is undergoing a CPS plan right now as a result of this case. And there are parenting classes that he's been attending and will continue to attend as scheduled, as well as drug testing that he's been compliant with, Judge. So you would ask if the court could take that into consideration, be open to the idea of mirroring some of those things he's doing with CPS. An additional thing, Judge, is that he is indigent, appointed by the Public Defender's Office. He's not currently working, so we'd ask for some leniency in regards to the fines, so we can be successful without worrying too much of the stressful nature of the monetary obligations. For that reason, being San Antonio is getting a little more expensive. A lot of things are getting more expensive. He's looking to relocate to Sweetwater, Texas, in Nolan County, Judge. It's things are a little bit more affordable out there in terms of housing. So we're looking for a potential transfer or report by Zoom if at all possible. It's my understanding it's in Northeast Texas,
Think it- West, but I could be wrong.
Northwest, I guess. He's looking to move over there, Judge. But we just wanted to bring those things to the court's attention. He's been sober since March 4th of this year, completed
Congratulations.
lifetime recovery, and I've noticed an extreme change. And when I just first met him as to now staying off and clean of the drugs, he's very much more clear-headed, and he's telling me he can be successful in this probation. And I believe that he can be successful in this probation, Judge. So I'm hoping he won't have any further run-ins where he has to see this or any other courtroom. So
That's why I plan on going to Sweetwater.
All right. I've noticed a change in you as well. So here's my question. With regards to Sweetwater, Texas, who do you know there?
We're getting property out there,
All right, who's we?
me and my fiance.
All right, how are you getting property out there?
She has a check due to her recently deceased husband.
I'm sorry, what?
She's getting money every month due to her recently deceased husband.
Through some settlement?
And we're going actually up to Waco right after court here to go put the down payment.
All right, so what is Child Protective Services saying about this?
I still have to get in contact with them. If they say I can't do it, then I would have to stay here.
All right, and who has physical custody of your children?
The mother of my children's cousin. Ashley Ranzinski. That's the last time I've known about it.
All right. And is this a legal case or is this family-based service?
Uh,
Well,
this one's
legal
legal.
case is CPS.
DPS?
Yes. So do you have an attorney?
Oh, yes, yes.
All
I
right.
do not recall his name at the moment, but I do have his information in the house.
Okay. All right. So you're taking parenting classes?
Yes, ma'am.
What have you learned?
Well, not to leave the kids by themselves for one.
Mhm. Because one of the children is special needs, and to ask your daughter to be in charge of changing diapers, that's a lot for a child that was her age.
Yes, ma'am.
And then that's nothing worse for children when they're at home and they wake up and all the adults are gone.
Very true.
Okay.
And that, Judge, with regards to that, and sorry to impose, but I think that the drug usage added around this time kind of contributed to making that the most responsible of choices. But I'm hopeful, since he's been staying clean and he's gonna take those classes and be compliant with CPS, that obviously, see the error of his ways.
All right. And so the person that you're hoping to move to Waco with or to Sweetwater with, is that the mother of the children?
No, ma'am.
So you're involved in a completely different relationship with somebody else?
Yes, ma'am. This woman I've known since I was 12 years old.
All right, so and this is me just asking because I need to know what your thought processes are. So when did you reconnect with her?
While I was in here in Barry County Jail. The reason I got back in touch with her was because over my life, she was the only one that actually had faith in me and helped me stay straight.
And does she have children?
Yes, ma'am, she does.
And what are their ages?
There's 8 children.
8 children.
Yes.
So are these adult children or are they all?
There's one that's she's helping raise. It's her cousins. She's 3. Next one is 5. Next one is 8, 10, 12, and the other ones is 13, 17. The other 2 are older. One, we consider him a kid. He's actually 26. He's a grown man, but we consider him a kid because he's not all there.
All right.
But he's not hers either. Only 4 of which are hers.
All right. And then how old are your children?
Mine are 9, 11, and she's 14. My oldest is 14, but she's up in North Texas. I've actually recently been staying in contact with her. I haven't been in contact with her for over the years because of the fact I was on the drugs. And since I've been clean, I've been building a strong relationship.
All right, so this is what I've discovered in my time on the planet. Sometimes relationships work out, but sometimes people enter into relationships when one, they're homesick, they're lonely. 2, they're in rehab, and then they end up immediately moving on and dating someone else. And it appears to the court that you're basing your stability on this person that you've just got in a relationship with. She has a settlement. So she's going to use that settlement to buy property, which means that property should not be in your name. It's going to be in her name, which means she can put you out anytime she wants. She's bringing you into her life. You have these charges, and she has all of these younger children. And then I'm reading the police report. There was an assault case involving the mother of his children that are in this case. And I know that she was arrested. So we have some violence issue going on that the children are witnessing. So what I can tell you is, at this point in time, I'm not going to let you move to Sweetwater. And let me explain to you why. Because I don't want people to think, oh, I'm just being mean. This is why I'm not going to allow him to do that. At the end of the day, when you're on probation, part of your conditions, these are not conditions I made up. These are conditions from the government, and these are your legal conditions that are automatic conditions. You have to financially support your dependents. And financially supporting your dependents is not depending on this new lady that you've met, who you said you've known for a long time, and depending on her settlement. Because at some point in time, her settlement money is going to run out. And when that runs out, all the issues that you have or that she has are going to rear their heads. She's going to have an issue with somebody not pulling their financial weight.
That's another thing, Your Honor, if I may.
Yes.
I plan on going up there and getting a better job than I could find out here.
Mhm.
They have better corporations up there that I could actually get a job with.
Mhm.
I have a few applications already put in online.
I think your sole focus should be on your children, getting them over this trauma that they've suffered from seeing their parents being violent with each other, and for having their father leave them alone at the house by themselves, and they're waking up and nobody's there. So what I will tell you, I consider allowing you to move to Sweetwater once you actually have employment and you've shown the court that you can financially support yourself and that you can support your children, because those are conditions of probation.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Now, with regards to the fine, I'm not going to impose a fine because you have children.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. So count 1 and count 2 will run concurrently. There's going to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular random UAs, proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. CPS compliance. There will be parenting classes and probation. If he's doing parenting classes through CPS, then that will be acceptable.
Yes.
There's going to be 100 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to order anger management classes.
I'm in due to take battery classes.
Oh, with
All right.
CPS, you
Yes.
do, Judge, if he does those with CPS, can he show proof to the probation officer to get credit for that?
All right, probation, if you can see what conditions well, what the requirements are the battery class, then I'll accept the battery class in lieu of anger management. If what they're teaching there is similar to what they're teaching in anger management. And once that's completed, the community service hours will be deemed satisfied. There's going to be field visits, one time per month until further notice. We can do a TAP evaluation out of custody. Aftercare with lifetime recovery. And where are you staying now?
Castleville.
Casterville?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, is that a sober living house?
No, it's, Momo,
All right, so who lives there with you?
my fiance,
Your fiance? And do all of the children live there with you as well?
indeed, yes, ma'am.
All right, so whose mobile home is that?
Her mobile home and her property.
Is it their county judge?
Okay,
Is it their county?
it's
No, Medina-
Casterville,
Medina County.
Medina. Just one moment. And is Child Protective Services allowing you to live there?
Yes.
Okay. Sometimes I have no idea what Child Protective Services is doing and the reasoning behind it.
Yeah, I myself don't have too much experience since it's mainly criminal, but I know you have done that civil family law and CPS, so.
But I don't understand why someone, and I appreciate the fact that you're doing better and you're getting your life in order, but I don't understand why CPS would allow someone with these charges to move on property with a lady who has 8 children who are under the age of 17 to just move in, and we have all these other issues going on.
Yeah, Judge, maybe they're considering the fact that he did the inpatient treatment and he's on a plan now. I can't report to know what their thoughts are, but seemingly they think that he's okay now. You know, he's learning, moving forward and progressing.
Right. I just
Maybe
can't
that's the
imagine
deal.
CPS is going to end up placing your children with you if that's what you're seeking, when there are already 8 children in the house.
A lot of mouths to feed, yes, I understand.
Judge, Medina County is a reciprocal county to us, so we can supervise. However, because it's not in their county, field visits won't be conducted. If you'd like the field visits conducted, you will do a transfer.
A transfer to Medina? All right, then we'll do a transfer to Medina. What do you do all day?
Look for work. I do a lot of side jobs too.
Okay,
I gotta go to work tomorrow too. For total.
all right, and there's going to be 90 sober meetings in 90 days. Probation, is there anything else?
Okay.
Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful? All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney?
Yes.
Did you understand it and sign it? Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. Sometimes when people leave inpatient treatment, real life starts hitting them. And I know these conditions will start hitting you. You need to make sure that you have someone who you can call if you're thinking about using. Don't backslide. Don't, oh, it's just one beer. I had, a hard day. Because then next thing you know, you're completely off track. And if you go completely off track, you know what's going to end up happening? Child Protective Services is going to come in her life and look at whether or not she should have these children in her home. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. If there's anything you need, or you have some issues, let probation know. If you feel as though they're not addressing it, you can always come back to the court.
Absolutely.
All right. Good luck to you. And thank you for always dressing appropriately for court.
Absolutely.
And I'm so happy about your sobriety.
Thank you. I am too.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you. Have a good one. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
May be
Thank you.
dismissed.
Yes. And everyone, we're recessing at noon, so if you have something, you need to start moving, attorneys. Let's put this in here. Yes. Ah, I'm sorry, Mrs. Smalley, that is so true. Mrs. Smalley, if you'll come back. All right, we're back on the record. Thank you, Ms. Shawn. All right, so your term is going to be 4 years deferred adjudication. Do you understand? All right.
Thank you, Judge.
Ms. Shawn, thank you for catching that.
We approach on Johnny Reed. Yeah.
All right, who's here on Heather Moore?
Ready, Your Honor.
All right. Ooh. Just one moment. Just give me a moment, sorry. All right, court is calling 2023 CR 3486, State of Texas versus Heather Moore. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state? Defense?
Paul J. Smith for the defense.
All right, and are you Miss Moore? All right, we're here, you entered a plea of no contest to count two. The state waived count two without objection. According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 6 years in the prison, and the state is opposed to your application for community supervision and for deferred adjudication. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report, state?
Yes.
Defense?
We have, Your Honor.
State, any objections to the PSI report?
No, Your Honor.
Defense, any objections to the PSI report?
No, Your Honor.
State, any witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
Defense, any witnesses?
Just my client, Your Honor, in brief summation.
All right, if you could raise your right hand for me, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand if you'll state your name for the record. All right, make sure you keep your voice up so that I can hear and the court reporter can hear. All right, defense?
Ms. Moore, you had entered a plea to this case and are asking this court for a form of community supervision. Did I get that right?
Yes,
Why should this court even consider community supervision for you?
I need medical treatment for, I had a brain aneurysm last year. So I've been missing my appointments for my checkups. And this past week I had an incident at the jail. They had to take me to the hospital.
How long ago did you have your aneurysm?
January 24th, 23.
And as a result of that, has that required some substantial life changes for you?
Yeah, I can't see out of my right eye. And I have been going through physical therapy. I had to learn how to walk again. And lucky to be alive.
Have you decreased or substantially changed your pattern when it comes to mind altering substances?
Yeah, I have to stay clean because of my aneurysm. Because I can rupture it and it can kill me.
Now, in your PSI, you indicated a willingness to perform any conditions the court required. Is that a true statement?
Yes, sir.
And one of the recommendations perhaps would be drug offender education program.
Yeah.
Are you willing to take urine tests weekly if the
Yes.
court ordered it?
Everything if I have to.
And the amount of medical care required, where do you receive that and how do you receive that?
I get disability. They have me on disability.
And what, where do you go for your treatment or medical care?
The neurologist.
Neurologist?
Yeah.
Okay. And who is that?
Dr. Morton,
And where does he practice?
the Baptist Methodist Hospital.
Now, as far as living arrangements, have you made appropriate arrangements with family?
Yes, sir.
And tell us briefly, are you married?
Yes, sir.
And who are you married to?
Culture cares.
How long have you been married?
20 years.
And do you have a close relationship with any brothers or sisters and parents?
Yes, I do.
And where do they live?
Odessa, Texas.
In your pre-sentence report, you indicated that there were some places that you might ask the court to transfer you to.
Dallas, Texas, or Odessa.
And why is that?
My husband is in Dallas and my parents live in Odessa.
And if the court required you to live here, could you find appropriate?
Yes, I have address here.
Now, as far as any type of plans for the future, if you look, say, 2 or 3 years in the future, where do you see yourself being?
Going back to school.
And what kind of school you'll be back going to?
To finish my GED and hopefully try to learn to something in college, something. I don't know exactly what I could do, but you know, something different.
is your goal in life at this point?
Being a mom, take care of my kids.
And when was the last time you held them or touched them or saw them?
5 months ago.
And what's it like for you being in a prison or a cell?
It's difficult because with my aneurysm, I can't have stress. It's the headaches. And if I do, my blood pressure, I'm not really able to get the medical care I need to get.
And did that happen last week?
Yes, I was in the hospital last week. They took me.
Some might say that raising children is very stressful, more so than a jail cell. What are your opinions on that?
I mean, being in jail is way worse because I can't eat right. I can't, keep my blood pressure right.
Do you have blood sugar issues also?
No,
Any other issues that you're aware of?
well, not if I'm wearing.
And the medicine, do you know the regimen of prescriptions you're on for your blood pressure and
It
aneurysm?
starts with the I and one of them is nematol and then the other one is baby aspirin and the blood pressure is, I don't know. It starts with the I.
Okay.
I don't know how to pronounce it.
And how would you get those medicines if the court were to grant you some sort of supervision?
With my disability, the insurance.
Is there anything else that you'd like to tell this court that we haven't covered?
No. I just want to be able to get the medical care I need to finish my physical therapy.
Ask the witness.
State?
I only have a few questions. In your PSI, you mentioned that in regards to this offense, that we're doing something, you kind of figured out what it was, and you put your trust in someone. What did you mean by that?
Well, I thought that they were, my friend, I thought they were like family to me, but they turned out it wasn't.
I'm sorry, they turned out what?
It turned out to be something that it wasn't.
Okay.
And as a result of this incident, did you attempt to rectify it with the police department?
Yes,
And did you attempt to help them?
Yeah.
And did you accept responsibility, acknowledge guilt in this case?
yes, I didn't.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, any other questions? All right, how old are your children?
My, she's 6, 12, 13, 16.
All right. And where were your children during this offense?
With my husband.
And that's the person you've been with for 20-something years? So from reading the police report, it appears you knew you were transporting drugs.
Yeah, I kind of figured that. I was.
Well, I mean, what do you mean you kind
I
of
mean,
figure?
I knew I was, yes.
Okay. And it was transporting a lot of drugs. Why would you transport drugs?
I was doing a favor for a friend. I was taking something somewhere for somebody and I didn't know exactly. I kind of figured it was what it was, but I didn't think about it.
No, it says in the police report, and I don't know if you've had a chance to review the police report again, but in the police report, you get pulled over.
Yes, ma'am. I knew I was doing what I was doing.
All right, because it says here, I began speaking with S1, that's you, who still appeared very nervous. S1 began speaking to me about where she was headed. I temporarily muted my body cam because S1 began speaking about information, that should be confidential. And then they say that you actually admitted you were transporting drugs and that you knew you were transporting drugs.
Yes, ma'am.
So I don't understand when you say that you figured it out later.
Yeah, when I got pulled over, I kind of realized it was something that,
So you're saying in the very beginning, you had no idea until you were pulled over?
I didn't think it was what it was that I was taking. Because it was wrapped up. It was like in a box and everything, so I didn't know.
So you're saying that you didn't know what you were possessing?
At first I didn't.
So when did you discover what you were possessing?
Whenever they pulled me over.
All right, state. Any questions?
No, Judge.
Defense, any questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right, you're saying you didn't know what it was. Do you want a jury trial?
So
All right.
just want to go ahead and get this over with so I can get on with my medical care.
All right, court will hear final argument, defense.
Your Honor, as the court has perused the PSI, has gathered some information that indicates that a client that has physical disabilities and opportunity to provide information to the officers. Also, she has admitted guilt, has had difficulties in this jail system with him getting appropriate medical attention. And we respectfully ask the court to grant some sort of supervision.
State.
Judge, it's a very large amount of drugs. Just from the PSI and just from the police report, the defendant knew what she was doing. Again, that's why the state was opposed to any applications, so that's why we're opposed.
All right. So Ms. Moore, I'm considering, of course, the facts of this case. And then sometimes our history follows us around, right? And your history, you've been on probation before and you were unsuccessful, you were revoked. And then this case, it's a lot of drugs.
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
Okay.
I'm older now. Back then I was young. I didn't have the resources then to do. But I know I can complete the probation.
All right. So here's my question though. Where was your husband in all of this?
At home,
So he had no idea that this was going on?
you know,
So he had no idea that you had a drug problem? Is that what you're telling me?
no, he knew I had a drug problem.
And he had no idea you were
He
transporting
didn't know
drugs?
how I was doing it.
And has Child Protective Services been in your life
Yes, ma'am.
with your children? And so you're saying your children have been placed with your husband?
Yes, ma'am.
For how long?
They've always been with him.
So what did Child Protective Services do then?
They just left them, but they didn't ever come to my, they didn't ever do nothing.
Okay. All right. The court is going to find you guilty. The court is going to sentence you to 4 years in the prison. Give you credit for any time served. I'll request the therapeutic medical unit. With that unit, you'll have to actually request it as well because I have no jurisdiction for them to place you in that unit. But that unit will help you with any drug issues you may have, any physical medical issues or mental health issues. All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? All right, because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. When you're released from custody, you need to make sure that you get back on track, being clean and sober. You understand? If you have an issue where you can't find a place to help you with that, if I'm here, you can always come back to the court and I'll direct you to a place that can help you. Good luck to you. Who's here on Johnny Ruiz?
President.
All right, where are we on discovery?
Judge, my understanding is that that's been a request for the discovery, that there may have been a file that's too big to be transferred over.
Okay.
So my understanding is that they put in a request for it to be onto the CD. I don't know what the status of that is, I was checking on that. And then other than that, the state just needs to speak with Mexican.
Okay. This is gonna be the last date for discovery, so if you all need something on a hard drive or whatever you need to, just give it to them so they can download it for you if there's an issue with the download. All right. Ms. Ferguson, put this down for October 28th for discovery.
Thank you.
All right, is there anything else that's needed?
No, Your Honor, that's all.
All right, thank you for dressing appropriately for court.
Sure.
Once you sign the reset form, you will be excused. Just have a seat and they'll get the reset form to you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. All right, who's here on Eduardo Porter?
That's my judge. You need Mr. Porter up here?
Yes. All right, so where are we on discovery?
I think I'm good on Discovery, Judge. Now, my laptop that has all of the Discovery crashed, but there might be one video I need to review, but I don't think Discovery is the issue.
Okay. All right, State, were you able to tender an offer today or no?
No, Your Honor, we're in the process of trying to still contact the victims, so I did feel comfortable making an offer in this particular case.
All right. Norma, can you put this on the docket for November 4th?
Judge, I'll be on a cruise,
Oh, where are you headed?
Barcelona back to the United States, a transatlantic.
Ah,
So
so
12th,
when will you be back?
I will be back if the flight and everything goes right, I'll be back on the 10th,
All right,
So
and
that's what I
when do
said.
you leave?
October 21st.
Okay. All right, put this on November 14th.
November 14th.
And don't be the person who's chasing after the ship.
No. Our cruises, we're with an older crowd.
Yeah.
So we're not the kind of people that get drunk and stand up on the banister.
Okay.
You know, now people fall over because these people are in their 70s and 80s and the ship wrecks a little.
Okay. And your daughter's already an adult now, huh?
Right. Well, she's not going with us. She's staying here.
Oh, wow. All righty. All right, thank you. Thank you for dressing appropriately for court. All right, State Araceli Robles on page 3. Her cases were previously reset to November 12th. All right. And Rashawn Robles has a MTR, I think, as well.
Yes.
Isabelle Garza. Hello, John.
Good morning, madam.
Good morning. Are we gonna have a good season for magnolias?
I live in hope. I've been regularly watering. The way I do it is I flood it for about 2 or 3 hours, sometimes half a day.
Mhm.
In the root zone, so it seems to perk up every time.
Yes. Hello. Hi, I remember you. How are you doing?
I'm doing better, a lot better.
Oh, that is good.
Yes, I got the treatment that I needed.
Okay, awesome. Oh, I'm happy for you.
I apologize about last time.
Oh, no need to apologize. You know what I always tell people? If it's something that,
I took my medicine this morning.
oh, awesome. No, you know what? There's no need to apologize. You know, I think that there are some things that we have no control over. You could apologize for something that you have control over, right? But stuff that you have no control over, there's no need for you to apologize to me. All right?
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. All right, court is calling 2022 CR 10646 State versus Isabelle Garza. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Andrew Harrison.
For the defense?
John Young?
And are you Miss Garza?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
Can we go off the record just a moment? Shut up.
Well, that was what was in place before I came on board, when she was in court the last time and, apparently, behaved inappropriately.
Okay. All right, we're back on the record. Counsel, have you received all of the discovery? Did you review it with your client?
I have, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Ms. Garza, did you review the document entitled True Bill of Indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it? Counsel, do you waive the reading of the
I
indictment?
do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented? Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, did you review the document entitled Court Admonishments with your attorney?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places? Did you understand you're charged with possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, less than 1 gram?
I do.
That's a state jail felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand? Did you understand?
Yes.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial? A right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
I believe she does.
And do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
As we stated earlier, Your Honor, she was declared competent on Friday by Judge Carruthers after a report by the physicians and workers at SASH. And I haven't seen any indication that she is not competent.
Ms. Garza, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
All right, according to the plea bargain agreement, your punishment is to be assessed at 150 days in the Bexar County Jail under 1244. And there are no applications. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, is that the plea?
It is, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
There have not, Your Honor.
Then to count 1, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence?
No objection, Your Honor.
State, you may be excused. Did you review the waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places? Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
I thought it was insightful, Your Honor, that she commented to me when I was going over the plea paperwork. She said, "This is what they taught me at SASH." So, and I commented to her, "Well, maybe you could give this better than I can."
All right. All right, the court will follow your agreement. The court is going to sentence you to 150 days in the Bexar County Jail under 1244, give you credit for any time served, give you credit for any time served in the state hospital. There's to be no contact with Sid Motors at 15066 North Zazamora Street, San Antonio, Texas 78207, and the court will show that the judgment is satisfied. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. So I see in some reports that you're homeless. If you're still going to be homeless, there are places that can help you.
I got my own place.
Oh, that is so awesome. I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, I got my own place.
All right. And so the reason why I put the no contact order with that location is because in the police report, they first contacted you because they said that you're trespassing. So make sure you don't go back to that place anymore, okay?
They also said that she had a criminal trespass warning at that location, Your Honor. And that was one of the two reasons why they were apprehending her and led to the search.
Okay. So make sure you don't go back
Get
there.
back on it.
Okay, so you know where that location is.
Right.
Don't go back to
It was smart.
All right, don't go back there, okay? And make sure that you stay on top of your mental health. If you're taking medications and you feel like it's causing you side effects, let your doctor know, because if they don't know, they don't know, okay?
Right.
And if something comes up and you need help with something, help with housing, help with your mental health, help with any type of drug issues, and you feel as though you can't find a place, if I'm here, you can always come back here and I'll direct you to a place.
Okay.
All right, good luck to you.
Got time, sir?
Yes, you will be out at midnight.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. I'm so glad you're doing better. Have a good one, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. You're welcome. Yes.
Not, well, we are professional nitpickers, so I guess I am nitpicking. But when you say that she is prohibited from having weapons, that's not exactly true. She's prohibited from having firearms.
No, she can't because there's a mental health flag on my system.
Okay.
Yes, so that's why.
Okay,
Yeah. No, I love when people nitpick though. And I don't even call it nitpicking. I always say, if there's something that I can learn, I'm willing to listen.
I just got 15 seconds for COE.
Yeah, no problem. But no, I will tell you the one good thing, well, there are other good things about Odyssey, is that Odyssey will show us different flags for different things.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
so. And I want her to be successful.
I do too. She was, let's just say she was not a very pleasant person when I first came on board. And the change was just qualitative when he called me at the end of her stay at SASH.
Oh, yes. And you know, I would always, when I was a defense attorney, when I had clients who had mental health issues, I can understand their behavior. But if they didn't have mental health issues or anything else going on and they were just being rude, I'm like, yeah, you need to apologize for that, you know?
But, you know, she had a hard time getting through the treatment. So I'm glad it didn't take too long. She has actually over 230 days credit. But and she could have had a 90-day judgment satisfied the first time she was here.
Well, I'm hoping she has a family support system out there.
I know she has at least one guy that felt enough about her that he paid my fee, so,
Okay,
he's kept in contact with me, so I assume she does.
all right. Well, it's always good seeing you. All right, tell your granddaughter I said hi.
I will, oh, I didn't tell you.
Mhm.
We had the homecoming dance and all the people, we had huge dinner with the parents, because they're all, 14 years old.
Yes.
So we had parents there and all sorts of stuff. But then yesterday, we had another party. We had both my daughter and a recently discovered grandson.
Oh, wow.
All my grandchildren are bastards.
Oh, no, don't say that.
They are,
No,
but this one was
no,
discovered.
that they're not.
I recently took a DNA test that determined that he was one of my brood.
Oh, that is awesome.
So, but we had birthday parties, and so we had a bunch of people there. I spent probably 2 hours cooking on the grill.
Oh, hey, well, that's awesome.
That was a major event too. And my wife went to bed last night and said, "We're not having a party for a while."
Oh, well, I'm glad you discovered him. It's good that you're in his life now. Hello.
I'm with you.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
It's one around this crazy place, but it's
Oh, thank you so much. All right, Sergio Maris, Selena Lamone. All right, that's Selena Lamone. All right. Ariante de la Cruz.
We're confirmed.
All right, thank you. Mr. Ariante, where? All right, you were late. Don't be late next time. You understand? Right. Megan Conacher.
We're present, just conferring.
All right, you were late. Don't be late next time. You understand? Brenda Carpenter. Willie Fields. Rayala Butler. Deputy Laura, you okay? Desiree Tina. All right, you were late. Don't be late again. You understand? I'm sorry, what? All right, thank you. Have a seat. Andrea Castillo. All right, I think I'm gonna go get Deputy Laura some water.
I just asked her if she wanted this.
Okay. Vashawn, you know I can't sing, right? In my mind, I can, and it's beautiful, right? But I'm telling you, if I were, in my younger days, I think I would have went on the Netflix show Cat's Eye. I would have had the dance moves down. They would have, and you know what they would have said? Her dance moves are great, but if only she could sing. All the singing voice went to my mom.
Just send me 3 emails this morning.
Okay.
Good morning. Did I have motion setting on Felipe Lopez? Yeah, prosecutor's ready whenever the court is.
All right, who's here on Hassan Kadir? Oh, he's on Zoom. Yes. Oh, come forward. Yes.
I'll wait to the front, sir.
Yes. Good morning. Thank you for dressing appropriately for court. All right, who's the prosecutor on Kadir? Ah, it's maybe a different division. It's failure to remit. It's Hassan Adel Kadir.
Judge is not.
Oh, that is you? Okay. All right, so where are we on discovery and offers?
Judge.
Judge, we received, I believe, all the discovery, but we had a expert fraud examiner appointed to review all of it. She needs more time.
All right, so how much time are you asking for?
Probably another month.
All right, and that will be completed by then?
I believe so.
All right, so this will be the last setting for that. And defense, did you tender an offer? I'm sorry, state, did you tender an offer or no?
Judge, it appears we did.
All right. So this is going to be your plea deadline date.
Okay.
It's going to be back on November 4th.
Okay.
All right, so we'll have you back on November 4th. Once you sign the reset form, you're excused. All right, thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Have a good one.
You too.
Get a phone call. Yes.
No.
Where's the bottom? Right, it's the bottom. No.
Oh.
On it. Megan Conacher. Okay. We figured I had a call from. What's the times of
Thank you, Suzanne. I'll be back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Conacher. K-O-N-E. Thank you, God, something up. Guys.
All right, who's here on Felipe Lopez? Good morning. All right, I have this as being set for October 24th, there's a motion.
Yeah, I think that's what it was today.
All right. All right, we're gonna go on the record. Court is calling 2024 CR 1619, State versus Felipe Antonio Lopez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason, you're a
Defense?
Pauline Portillo on behalf of Christopher Castro for Mr. Felipe Lopez.
All right, and are you Mr. Lopez? Do you have any, well, I'm sorry, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Yeah, that's okay. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
You can lower your hand if you'll state your name for the record.
Felipe Antonio Lopez.
All right, do you have any objection to this attorney standing in?
No.
All right, State, have you had a chance to review the motion?
I did, Your Honor.
State, do you have any objection?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Defense, you may proceed.
Judge, we're asking for the court to consider amending full house arrest GPS that Mr. Lopez is currently required to have because he has a work opportunity with his father, who is also present and who I expect to call as a witness so that the court can get some of that information about where he will be working. So at this point, we're asking for a downgrade to partial house arrest or tracking only, simply to allow him to work at this point. There's been no violations while he's been on GPS or other pretrial violations.
All right, so here's my question. How long has he been on GPS?
Since he's been magistrated, Your Honor, and I can get that date for you right
How long
now.
have you been on GPS?
About months or 2 months.
All right. Do you have witnesses you would like to call?
I do, Judge. We'll call Felipe Lopez Senior.
All right, Felipe Lopez Senior.
On this side.
All right, and Mr. Lopez, if you'll move over here. All right, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can lower your hand and state your name for the record.
Felipe Lopez.
Senior?
Yeah.
Okay, now you have to state your full name because otherwise the court reporter is taking down the record. And if you just say your name is Felipe Lopez, his name is Felipe Lopez.
Okay.
And we won't have any idea if somebody reviews the record, which Lopez is testifying. So if you'll state your full name for the record, please.
Felipe Lopez Senior.
All right, thank you. And thank you for dressing appropriately for court. Defense, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Okay, Mr. Lopez, how are you related to Felipe Lopez?
He's my son.
And does he live here in San Antonio?
Yes, he does.
Where does he live at?
5938 Mid-Crown.
Oh, well, look, not the address. Does he live with you?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
And so who lives with you all?
It'll be my wife, Felipe, my nephew, and my daughter.
Has Felipe Jr. always lived with you?
Yes.
And what was he doing before he got arrested?
was-
Work-wise?
Work-wise, he was not working. He had quit work to go get his GED.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about that. What was he doing education-wise then?
He was going to St. Philip's College, working on getting his GED. As far as I know.
Well, do you know if he was actively taking classes?
Yes, he was.
And so just classes, not work at that point.
No,
Okay.
just classes.
Have you spoken to him about what he would do if he was able to get out of the house and get a less restrictive GPS requirement?
Yes, he's gonna come to work with me.
Okay, and what exactly does that involve? What is he gonna be working as?
He'd be a labor for P constructors.
And how often?
Construction.
Okay, and would he be directly under you or somebody else?
He'd be directly under me.
And about how often would he be working?
40 hours a week.
Hours?
Yeah, 40 hours a week.
Okay, and then is it like a normal 9 to 5 or?
It's depending on the task. It could be from 5 in the morning to 3, depending on what we got going on.
And what exactly are you gonna have him doing?
He'd be a general laborer. He'd be doing my cleanup materials, assisting other carpenters. So he'd be just your general labor, whatever.
Okay. And do you know if he has plans to continue with his education at all at this point?
I want him to, I think he's planning on it, but we have to find him night classes.
And why is that?
Because he'll be working with me during the day.
Okay, and then, so does he have any financial responsibilities at home?
Yes.
Okay, tell the court about those.
Okay, he's paying rent. He helps with the light and water bill. And as soon as he gets his driver's license, he'll be getting insurance and he's paying his own fuel. So I'm groceries as well.
Okay, and is it just you and him that contributes to the household
Right now, yes.
financially? Okay, so do you all depend on him to contribute financially?
Mhm.
And are there any other issues with Felipe being restricted to the house pretty much 24/7 right now, from what you could tell?
Yes, there is health issues that we saw that have come up, his depression, not sleeping.
And I'm sorry, when you say health issues, you mean issues for your son?
Yes.
Okay.
He's ADHD and he's been diagnosed with depression and it seems it's been taking a toll on him. It's no longer, since he's come out of the magistrate and all this happened, he's not sleeping at night. He's not as active as he used to be. But then he's confined to his room, so what can we do?
Yeah.
And is he actively getting treatment for some of those issues that you just brought up?
He's taking medication, but right now he has not, other than the counseling that he just went to an appointment with, they did put him on some meds.
Okay. So your understanding is he's receiving medication at least for some of those
Yes.
issues. And if he were to get a less restrictive GPS requirement, is he still gonna be under your care and
Mhm.
control?
Yes, you.
And can you tell the court, how will you assure that he won't have any violations? How can you help assure that he won't have any violations of
Well,
GPS or pretrial?
He'd be at
conditions?
work the majority of the time that he's out. And he's an introvert. He doesn't go anywhere. He's good to be out and about. The only outings he does is when, we're with him. So even now, he doesn't go anywhere. So, so pretty much 24 hours per day, it's at work and at home.
And you're confident that you can keep him on track and out of
Oh.
trouble? And what's your plan for you personally ensuring that he's not going to be a danger to anybody if he's put on partial or tracking GPS?
Well, like I said, he'd be with me pretty much the entire time. So, I don't think he's going anywhere. He doesn't have a driver's license, he can't drive it.
Okay. Do you know if he has any contact with the people he used to go to school with at
No, he
Wagner
doesn't.
High School? And what's his ultimate goal as far as career or professional wise?
We spoke about 3 days ago. He did say that he wanted to go to the service. But there's an issue with, he has to be off his medication for 2 years in order to enroll. So we're trying to figure this true or false. We're not too sure yet.
Okay.
Other than that, just working with me and, making some money, better in his life.
Pass the witness.
State.
No question, John.
All right, I have a question. You said he's on medication. Is this for mental health issues?
ADHD, he's oppositional defiant.
And you said oppositional defiance?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Also, he was diagnosed with some depression.
And so what does he do when he's at home? Do you have activities for him?
No, he just recently got kicked out of St. Philip's because he didn't go to school.
Okay.
And he couldn't do his classes anymore.
All right,
we
don't
were
they
told-
have Zoom?
Yeah, we were told for him to be off of all computer things, no social media, no can't have contact with the schools, and we'll say for one of them, so he couldn't let them know.
Okay.
That's what kind of like.
I understand. All right, any other questions?
I have no other questions, Your Honor.
All right, thank you so much for coming down. And again, thank you for dressing appropriately for court. Thank
Welcome.
you. Yes, you can step back now. All right. And Mr. Lopez Jr.?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, any other witnesses?
No other witnesses, Your Honor.
All right, any witnesses state? All right, the court will hear argument. Defense, it's your motion.
Yes, Judge. So at this point, we are just asking the court to consider taking this down to a less restrictive GPS requirement so that he can get out, so he can work and provide for the family. Dad says they depend on him to contribute financially. He'd be under dad's watchful eye pretty much 24/7, as he mentioned. They don't go out. And if there's any personal outings, he's gonna be with dad. He doesn't drive, he doesn't have a driver's license. Dad's gonna be watching over him at work. You can tell he's a pretty young individual with no criminal history. We're just asking to allow him to get out to do some work, keep himself busy, and hopefully that will detract from some of those depression issues and all that dad testified to within the home. And I think that would overall be a benefit. I don't think that he is a danger to any of the complainants in the case or would be alleged complainants in the case. He doesn't talk to them anymore. And I don't think that what we're asking for is unreasonable. So at this point, we are asking for a downgrade to GPS. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, state.
Yes, Your Honor, state's opposed to this tracking only, but we're not opposed to a partial GPS for medical purposes.
All right. I am not going to allow you to do tracking only. What I want to let you know is I listen to everything that everyone presents to me. And I looked at the indictment because the indictment is something that I have. I don't have any facts of your case. I just have the indictment and what your charge is. And you told me you've been on this GPS for 1 to 2 months. My understanding, if there were any violations of that GPS in the 1 to 2 months, I would have been given notice of that. So I understand that you have not had any violations. But I think it's too soon for me to place you just on tracking. What I can tell you is if you do well on the agreed, what the state agreed to, which is partial GPS for work and medical only, then your attorney can come back in 3 to 4 months, and then I may place you on tracking.
Okay.
So make sure that you don't violate any conditions, you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And state, what about this? Because I don't know any facts of this case. What about the computer issue and his being allowed to go to school? I know the semester has already begun, so it may be, it could not be. It may be too late for him to restart.
State's not opposed for him to have access to computer, I believe, just any type of social media. We're gonna address any type of issue with this case, Your Honor. So for school purposes only, the state will not be opposed to that.
All right, so Dad, he can, if St. Philip still has where he can re-enroll, he can re-enroll in school, but you're only allowed to use your computer for school purposes only.
Yes, ma'am.
And when I say school purposes only, what I mean is there's an assignment. You can use it for assignments. You can use it to go on Zoom, but you're not allowed to use it to do social media posts or anything of that nature. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And the only messages you're allowed to use that computer for is school related.
Yes, ma'am.
There's to be no Googling of, oh, let me see if this store is open. If you do that, that's going to be a violation. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So these rules are in place to protect you and also to protect the community, because you can always hold up and say, nope, this is the only thing that I was doing, and this is the only thing that the judge allowed me to do. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand what conditions are now in place for you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Is there anything else?
Nothing further from the defense, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. I'll fill out the order and then you can have them make a copy. Thank you for dressing appropriately for court, and we'll see you back on October 24th.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. I tried to real quick, but I doubt it. That's why I said this is, which I don't. Okay.
All right, she's gonna need a copy of that. Yes, thank you.
Okay, thanks for this.
And I'm just writing on the docket sheet, so I'll hand that over to you. All right, who's here on Megan Conacher?
I'm present, Your Honor.
Hello.
Good morning, Judge. We have an offer on it and I'd like to see if I could get another setting to discuss it with her.
Okay.
The it's good until the next setting.
And you have all the discovery? All right, how old are you?
32.
All right, we're gonna come back on October 14th for a plea deadline date.
Okay.
All right, once you sign the reset form, you're excused, and make sure that you're always on time, okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Norma on Conacher, it's a plea deadline date for October 14th. And Lorraine, can you make sure that you all have done an acknowledgement of discovery?
Today?
Yes,
Okay.
thank you. One may have been done, I'm just unsure.
And two.
Norma, what page is she on?
On page 4 at the bottom.
All right, thank you. Who's here on Ariante de la Cruz?
I am.
All right.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning, how are you doing?
Doing good now.
All right, you have many names. I always say whenever I see people who have 4 names, I always think, because people in the royal family always have 4 names, right? I always wonder growing up how people were able to remember that
Yeah.
and write it down.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
All right, so discovery, the last time we were here, my understanding is that it was going to be set for discovery just to make sure that everybody has all of the discovery.
Judge, so right now there's about 1,300. Defense.
1,300.
Yes.
Okay.
So defense is asking if they can bring a hard drive in just so that we can upload everything that we have on Verify.
So here's my question. State, do you have all of the discovery in your possession?
Judge, even then, so right now, just looking at this, so it's numbering up to about 200. So I just need some time just to make sure that we have everything. Defense has already brought up a couple of things that they are missing.
Mhm.
So I think that we should be able to at least follow through, verify what they're missing to make sure.
Okay, let me see something.
I downloaded some of the Discovery Judge and I was trying to decipher. And I conferred with Daniel just to tell him some of the items that I thought I was missing, but it's hard to decipher what all he has and for me to tell him what I'm missing.
All right, so what we're gonna do is, Norma, put this for, I'm sorry, November 18th for discovery. So we'll be back on November 18th, so y'all can see where you are.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
All right, thank you for dressing appropriately for court, but be on time next time, okay?
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Just give me one moment. Let me put this in the system. All right, yes, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This case is not on the docket today. My client is, this lady was arrested. She's in Maverick County.
Mhm.
Coming across the border. She's remained without bond. The old bond was 10,000. I don't know, what is your procedure on, you want me to file a motion?
Well, what I'll need to do, if you'll speak to Ms. Ferguson, she'll have her to zoom in because she has to be present for the bond hearing.
Mhm.
So if you'll speak to Ms. Ferguson, she'll give you a date and she'll see about having her zoom in, and she's in Maverick County.
That's my understanding.
All right, do you know, is it a federal hold or?
No, it's this, and then there's a court 6 DWI also.
Okay, so everything here is in Bear County?
Yes, sir.
Oh, then Norman can have her bench warranted here. It'll be easy to get her here.
It would? How
Yes.
long would it take them?
She'll be able to tell you that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me see. But otherwise, there's no way of setting a bond so she can bond out.
No, because legally I have to have them before me because
And
the plan.
doesn't have the YouTube videos. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah. But you can see if she can
Bench one.
bench her or either see if she can be zoomed in from Maverick. I don't know if we've had good luck with Maverick. I think we have. So if she can get her to be zoomed in tomorrow, we can take it up tomorrow.
I'll file the motions and go from there. Okay,
All
thank you,
right,
Judge.
thank you. You're welcome. Who's here on Andrea Castillo? Andrea Castillo. Selena Lamone.
Can I approach on that, John?
Yes.
John, conferring with the state, Ms. Limon is serving a sentence in TDC. She's not bench warranted. We're evaluating it to see if what we might be able to do on it.
Did speak with, and they, back, so I am sending off the email. I thought it was another one, but this one.
Okay. So what we'll do is we'll bring her, how much time do you think it will take to get her back?
I know it's minimum, like, it's like a bench board type thing, at least 10 days, but I mean, I'm assuming at least probably longer.
All right, so I'll put her on the docket for November 4th.
That should be sufficient.
Norma? On Lamone? We're gonna call her back on November 4th.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
I have one more, Your Honor.
Oh, I'm sorry, the state is gonna file something. All right. Just give me a moment. Let me put this in the system. And counsel, I know you've been waiting on Moody. I'm just thinking about things with Moody. So. All right, who's your other client?
Brenda Carpenter, Your Honor.
Brenda Carpenter.
Your Honor, she misunderstood my office and thought it was being reset. I just made contact with her. I have her here at 1:30 or,
Yes. All right.
thank you, Your Honor.
Welcome.
We're on a status conference or what are we on right now?
It's discovery.
Okay,
And my understanding that the discovery was already tendered, you just needed time to review it.
yes, okay.
Okay.
So I need to sign off also on a acknowledgement and then I'll get a plea deadline?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. All right, Norma Carpenter is coming back at 1:30.
These filed in the record of the cause, please. Hey, that's, they're eating
Hey.
dogs. I saw you on TikTok.
What? And you know what? It's so funny because I don't even,
In London.
you're out of town. I don't even do any of that. And you know what's so funny? I don't even know what the rules are for that.
The woman comes in with shorts and you handcuff her and then you put her over.
Oh, see, you know what that case was about? All right, so we had a full box with inmates. And the shorts thing, on the big scheme of things, yeah. No, she came in and she was taking photos of the inmates in the box. And you're not supposed to do that because the deputies don't know who you are. You know.
It's a security risk.
Yes, and so I had her come up, I'm like, first you come into court wearing shorts. And then you're taking photos of people in the box. I'm like, that's not allowed. So the deputies put her in the box, looked at her phone to see what photos she was taking of inmates, told her she needed to delete those photographs, right? And then after that, the attorney for the person that she was taking photos in talked to me, and then we released her. I think she was in the box for, I don't know, 5 minutes. She didn't even go to the jail or to the back, even though, you know, I could have ordered her to be taken
Apparently
into custody.
18 million hits.
Yeah.
You know, obviously they snip wherever it's convenient, you know.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's what
It's like
happened.
Belial and Eric Menendez on
Yes.
Netflix.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I
The
will tell
Stephanie
you,
Boyd story on.
when we were in law school, there were so many true crime stuff we were watching.
Right, well, but it was OJ Simpson.
Yes. Well, we watched that and tried in our dorms. We were watching that from beginning to end. That's
Yeah, yeah.
learning about pretrial motion. So yeah.
But now it's the Stephanie story.
Hey, but you know what I am gonna do? I'm gonna write a book.
Well, that's what I was, you know, I'm staying with Denora right now until Friday, hopefully. And we were like, Stephanie needs to write a book.
Oh, but you know what my book is gonna be about? I think I'm gonna do the origin story of Humpty Dumpty. I mean, wouldn't that be great?
Like the real Humpty Dumpty or the
It's
other?
like, what happened? And you know what?
He fell off the wall.
Well, this is where the scene would open. How I would have the scene in the book start. You would just see him, imagine the camera angle. He's falling off the wall. And you see him yelling like, no, whatever. And then it pauses mid impact. And then it's like, how did I get here? And it goes back to the origin story. And it shows him, you know, somebody laying an egg. And it's Humpty, you know. So, yeah,
With a comb over?
yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Oh, why not?
Yeah.
So well then I go to TikTok and you've got like 1,000,000 TikToks.
Yeah, and it's like, I'm like, I don't even know what that's about.
Well, you're saying.
Okay.
My friends in London are calling.
All right, Andrea Castillo, is she in custody? What page is she on? Ah, there she is. All right, but Sean, on Andrea Castillo, it's a motion to revoke. Defense counsel said he didn't receive any notice. And so we're gonna recall it for Thursday. You're welcome.
Hi, can you see how many days credit, Mr. Roque has?
Yes.
You need the SID number or case number or 2024 CR 00756.
Castillo is being recalled for October 3rd. Thank you.
Sorry. Oh. It's loading. Sure, no worries. Thank you. Thank you. Please. Thank you. You too.
All right, Moody.
So I want to figure out. Then I'm gonna move my juvenile stuff in. Be there till 12.
Thank you for your patience. You know, sometimes I have to think over things, right?
We appreciate that, Judge.
Let me see. All right, so it's my understanding he's already pled through
Yes, Judge.
to a violation of condition number 2,
Correct.
and that's related to the drug testing.
Yes, Judge.
Okay. All right, and so with regards to the new cases, the new number 1, was that dismissed?
It was rejected, Judge.
Rejected.
And it wasn't part of, my understanding is it was not part of this negotiation for the agreement that we would like the court to accept with the state.
Okay,
That was rejected prior to that.
all right. Let me.
I work on civil side. We closed it at 36. Also. Super fast.
Yes.
My comment was so it's over. That's.
All right, so Ms. Abrams, on this, do we have the RMS staff member or no?
No, so. So Judge, the RMS staff via subpoena provided all records and all records were reviewed by the state and by the defense. And it was determined that Mr. Lopez did not appear on the date in question. Didn't find it.
Okay,
Judge, may I address the court when appropriate
Yes,
about
sure.
that?
okay. All right, who is on this case? Moody? All right. Court is calling 2019 CR 8716 State of Texas versus Andre Alonzo Moody. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state, for the defense?
Jeannie Cupid for the defendant?
And are you Mr. Moody? All right, so you entered a plea. Could you all please whisper? So you entered a plea of true to violation of condition number 2 on September 9th. The state waived all other allegations. The court found violation of condition number 2 true. And the case was recalled for today because you had given testimony about calling in or appearing for a drug test. So have both parties received records from RMS?
Yes, Your Honor.
And have you all had a chance to review it?
Yes.
So off the record, in the presence of everyone, probation has informed me that there's no record through RMS that he actually appeared, and defense, you wanted to address that.
Yes, Judge. At the prior hearing, I was not present attorney on that date. There was some confusion about whether we were talking about his appearance in March for not appearing, but he had pled true to April. So he was giving testimony about appearing and splitting a payment with regards to a visit he recalled from March. When I started visiting with him and corrected the date and said, actually, what you pled true to was failure to drug test in April, the defendant informed me that he did not go in April, that he had been, has had financial difficulties. And so there was no question, and we don't want this court to think that he is representing that he did try to go in April, because he wants the court to know that he did not go in April and that he in fact failed to report. Any question about appearing and a partial payment and not being able to do that was with regards to what he recalled was a March test, and that's not what's before the court today. So my client is pleading true. He did not go in April to test. And when appropriate, I would like to share some information with the court that I've learned in visiting with Mr. Moody over the last couple of weeks, that we would ask the court take into consideration when reviewing his case this morning. So do you want me to do that now, Judge? Judge, in meeting with Mr. Moody, his is a case where it's never an excuse, and he wants to address the court directly, and I've advised him you will allow him to do that. But he shared with me, he originally is from California. He has 2 daughters who are 5 and 7. He resides with the mother of those daughters, and their relationship is not the best. And that's, in my opinion, why he's here today. The court knows about the new number 1 that was ultimately rejected. 2019, his sister passed away. 2020, his mother took her own life. 2022, his father passed away. He has 1 remaining sister he has no contact with. Mr. Moody, this is his second MTR. The first MTR was not before this court. It was before another judge, and he was continued at that time. The court brought him in January, and you told him, Judge, you better buckle down and you better get a job and you better start, showing an effort. And I think the record will reflect he got a job as a cook working at Hooters on the Ingram Park location. He lives in Universal City. So transportation and money are his issue, Judge. He has a vehicle. It's not been reliable. There's no bus service where he lives. So when he has to report, he has to either Uber, and he has to have the money to do that, or to take a bus. I think he will address that he's not been formally diagnosed with depression, but Judge, in my just talking with him, he understands what's going on, but I think he suffers depression and losing 3 of his family members. They were the only support that he had, and he lost all of them in a short span of time. And he had tested at the beginning of April. He had appeared. He didn't think that he didn't know, but he didn't realize that they would call him back so soon. It was like 2 weeks later, I think on the 24th, that he was called to test. He didn't have the Uber money. He didn't have the money to drug test. And so he just got depressed, frustrated, and he did not appear. That's never an excuse, Judge, and I know he wants to address the court. But I know you will take those factors into consideration, not as an excuse, but in the totality of looking at his case.
All right. You want to call him as a witness?
Yes.
All right, can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Andre Alonso Moody.
All right, you may proceed.
Mr. Moody, have you requested that you be permitted to address the court today?
Yes, ma'am.
And when you were here last time, the judge asked a very important question. She said, "Why should I continue you on probation?" Would you like to address that question for the court?
Yes, ma'am. First off, I want to say I messed up. Got my daughters here, my two daughters, and that's everything for me. Everything I do, I try to do everything the right way. I know that it doesn't seem like I'm learning but I'm trying. This is what I acquired my license. I never had a license. I've been trying to get myself together to be to successfully complete this probation, and I've been trying to do everything the right way. I try to steady myself. I try to take care of my family. I struggle with financial. Nothing that none of the stipulations have anything to do with me not doing it. It's just I haven't had money. I don't have no help. Everything is through me. I'm my own support. I've been here with my baby mom for about 8 years. We've been trying to get it together and work it out and fix it. I work and support. It's just I can't. I don't have no help. You know what I mean? The outpatient program. I've made an effort, even from University City, to complete those classes. I walked from University City to make sure I wouldn't violate that. At times, sometimes I had money, sometimes I didn't. And my biggest problem is money. You know, like I don't have no help. Boy, so when I fall, it's hard for me to recover. You know what I mean? And that's my biggest issue. It's not doing it. It's not trying to disobey you or anything. I believe this probation has been helping me. The bib class that I was in, I felt like it was real helpful because a lot of people in there, a lot of the guys, they share their experiences with you, and like you can learn from them, you know. And it was cool. It was a cool class. Like everybody's talking to each other, and I learned a lot, even though I was only in there for 3 weeks. And the reason why I didn't complete the bill is because of financial. I missed one payment and then it doubled. And I called the class and I asked them, I told them I really like the class. I really appreciate it. I'm just struggling financially. I don't have the money to pay that $50. And then when you miss again, it's $100. I just didn't have the money for it. I apologize. I want to do better. I'm trying. My daughter is my everything. That's what I do everything for. And I don't want to go to prison, of course. You know, I think that I've been here 4 months, and I've had time to, you know, think and just sit back. I felt like God gave me a chance. Because it was at one point when all those things happened, I didn't want to be here. You know, I didn't even want to live. And I don't know what happened, but I felt like God was working through me. And I want to be better in this sport. Like I said, I steadied myself. I don't really mess with people, you know, alone. The only thing I do is take care of my family. I try to go to work whenever I can, whenever I can get there. I did get my license, so I did get a car. The timing belt on my car broke. I couldn't move around anymore. That was my transportation. You know, I was in University City, so there's no buses out there, no transportation. But I don't want to make no excuses. But I know I can do better. Give me an opportunity, another chance to do so. Improve it.
State, any questions?
Briefly, Judge, Mr. Moody, Sounds to me like your argument that you're trying to make is the financial stability, and the lack of support. I may have missed, it. Did you say, are you employed?
Not right now. No, sir, I've been here for 4 months, so the job that I did have, I lost.
And what was the job that you had before?
Hooters,
Hooter,
as a cook,
as a cook, and how long were you working at Hooter?
for about 3 years.
So,
Yes.
so with the job at Hooters, you could not maintain yourself?
It wasn't that, it was, I had just recently started back working there, it's been off and on for years, I just recently started working back, when I was, in jail in August last year, so I just got that job back because, I used to work at the Rivers, at Rivers Center Mall. And, my previous manager there, seen me and he said that they needed help.
Okay, let me stop you. So everyone, let's land the plane. So here's my question. So my understanding from reading the case summary, which nobody objected to me reading at the last hearing, is that probation was recommending revocation. And the reason why they were recommending revocation was because of a new number one. My understanding is that new number one has been rejected.
That's correct.
So is there a new number one out there other than that?
Not that we're aware of.
All right, so according to the court summary, it says probationer was arrested. And it's the same complainant, same offense. That's why they want revocation. But then that case has been rejected by the state. So now my other question is, then we're only here because of a UA.
Correct.
So state, are you still asking for revocation?
So I think the agreement for him to be the number two was to continue on probation, straight probation. So they would enter a citizen appeal, placing on
Six.
six over six. That was the agreement that was made before.
And so here's my other issue with this. He has been on probation since 2020.
Yes.
All right. And so he's basically on probation from 2020 for 9 years. Am I correct?
Yes.
Probation? Are you all still recommending revocation?
Judge, I have to defer to the court.
Okay. All right, so this is what I'm telling you. The state rejected that case for whatever reason they rejected it for. I don't know. It wasn't before the court. But it appears to me that your relationship with the complainant, that will be no more. That relationship is over. If you want to have a relationship with her, you can. And what that will result in is I will revoke you. You can go to prison. And then when you get out of prison, you can have a relationship with whomever you want. But if you wish to stay on probation in this court, there's to be no more contact with her.
Because she is the mother of his children, so can we clarify?
No contact with her. If he wants to have visitation with the children, then it needs to be through a third party. There's to be no letters to her. There's to be no, I'm sorry. If you have clothes with her, then what will end up happening? You'll have to get a third party to go pick up your items. And my suggestion is that there be a police escort for that.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'll deny the motion to alter and amend conditions. There's going to be partial GPS, waive fees, and GPS for employment only. And there's to be no contact with Siobhan, Chavon Sims. And I'm gonna keep him on deferred adjudication. However, if you remain on deferred adjudication, if you come back before the court, the full range of punishment will be open to the court, which is up to 10 years in prison. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And I believe you all have reached an agreement where it was going to be, what, 6? So the agreement that you had reached with them was that if you were revoked, the most you could be sentenced to is 6 years in the prison. But I'm keeping you on deferred. And if you are revoked, you're looking at the full 10 years. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, probation. Is there anything else?
No, Judge.
All right. And how are we going to address the issues with class? The fundings? I don't know.
Judge, I'm not sure, we'll have to do a financial analysis of those particular classes have to be paid for, we can't wait for them,
Okay.
so.
So then, what we'll have to do and what you'll have to do as an adult, and this is adulting, you're going to have to do some research to see if there's any type of programs that will help you with funding for your classes. Legally, you have to take that class. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Is there anything else you need?
No, ma'am.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Really exciting.
Very. So this is waiting I because probation.
Who's here on Cavanta Thomas? All right.
Stays.
Hello. Morning. Hi, where are we on discovery?
Judge, so I was notified by defense that there were several items that some orders to be transferred in the discovery process.
Okay.
I told them that it would be best to bring a hard job so that they can get everything all day.
All right. So, Norma, if you can recall this case for October 28th, and it's for discovery and counsel, you need to provide a hard drive.
I will, Your Honor.
All right. Is
Thank
there
you, Judge.
anything else?
No, Judge, that was the only,
Dressing appropriately for court. All right. Have a good one.
you too, Judge.
Gamboa. Hello.
Hi, Judge. How
Hi.
are you?
Good morning.
Judge, on Mr. Gamboa's case, we did confer. I don't have a formal offer. We'd like to apply for the Veterans Treatment Court.
Okay.
I don't know how soon we can do that or how quickly the process would be, but I anticipate that if he's accepted, that it will get worked out.
All right. This will be the setting for Veterans Treatment Court. And if y'all don't have an answer by the date that I'm going to give you, then yeah. All right, so on this case, Norma recalled Gamboa for October 28th. And there's to be a referral to Veterans Treatment Court. All right, is there anything else?
Nothing further, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
I think, sir. Thank you.
Let's go back.
Gloria, Reynaldo Gloria. Hello.
Morning, Judge. How are you doing?
All right, is this on the docket for today or no?
It is not on the docket now.
All right, so it's set on October 19th.
Yes, Judge. So, he is, there's an MTR that's pending right now, Judge. There's no bond that is set. And so we're trying to get bond set so that he can turn himself in.
All right, so he'll need to be present for me to set a bond for him.
And there's not a way to get bond set so he can turn himself into the satellite office without having to be booked and everything else.
No, I mean, he'll need to present himself and then the court will consider a bond.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you, Judge.
All right,
Appreciate
thank
it.
you. Sure. And just let us know when you want it heard.
Okay. I will.
Thank you. Ronald Collins. Court is calling 2022 CR 11290, State versus Ronald Keith Collins. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Raven Saldana, State.
For the defense?
James Tochi for Mr. Collins, Judge.
And are you Mr. Collins?
I guess not.
Counsel, have you received all of the discovery?
Yes, Judge.
Did you review it with your client?
I did.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Collins, did you review the application for community supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Judge.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We are proceeding on the lesser included offense, assault, bodily injury on a family, class A misdemeanor.
Any objection?
No, ma'am.
Did you review the court's admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of assault, bodily injury, family as a class A misdemeanor? Range of punishment is up to 1 year in the Bexar County Jail and up to a $4,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain with the state, the court does not have to follow that plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Judge.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I do.
Mr. Collins, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea?
I don't know.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea? Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense. Punishment is to be assessed at 1 year in the Bexar County Jail. There's no application for deferred adjudication. The state recommends community supervision, and there's to be an affirmative finding of family violence. Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to be designated as primary custodial parent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that to be the entirety of your plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea?
Yes, Judge.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, Judge.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, ma'am.
Outside the agreement, the state is asking that your community supervision be for a term of 2 years and there be no contact with Brandon Collins. Did you understand there's recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offenses charge, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Not guilty.
I'm sorry?
Not guilty.
All right, so you wish to have a jury trial?
Or, no contest.
He's confused.
All right, so let me explain something to you because I want the record to be clear.
All right.
And I want to make sure that you know what you're agreeing to. All right, so you have 3 choices in a plea.
All right.
You're going to plead not guilty, which tells the court that you want a jury trial. You're going to plead guilty, which tells the court that you're admitting to this. Or you can plead no contest. No contest in layman's terms. You're just saying, I'm not saying I'm guilty. I'm not saying I'm not guilty. I'm just not going to fight the charges against me. So, counsel, do you need to confer with your client?
No.
I do not, Judge. We went over this. I think he just got confused somehow by the question, but he is prepared to enter the correct plea.
All right, how do you plead?
That would be no contest, ma'am.
And are you doing that freely and voluntarily?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you wish to have a jury trial?
Oh, I do not.
All right, and you wish for the court to go forward with this plea?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state any evidence.
State Officer Exhibit 1 of the text.
Without objection.
All right, and state, have you had contact with the complainant?
Yeah.
All right. State, you can be excused. Mr. Collins, did you review the document entitled Waiving Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. The court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We're prepared, Judge. Yes, ma'am.
All right, anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
No, ma'am. He understands what's expected of him and just asked the court to follow the plea bargain.
All right. So are your parents currently alive?
My mother, yes. My father, I have no idea.
All right. How do you think your mom feels about this? You fighting your brother because of some dominoes, because you lost.
It was more to that, but I think that
What, did he call Christmas one time too many?
no, it was kind of more of
Because they said there was trash talking going on. Did they tell you to cross your legs?
no, it was kind of more of ego
and not knowing who the older brother was, and I could have did it better by calling the law enforcement myself, but at 40, I see the error of my ways, and moving forward, I'd like to get past this, and hopefully in the future, me and my brother, we strengthen our bond. As far as my mother, she's disappointed, but she knows my disposition, and she knows that I made a mistake, and
Now we made some choices. So Bashan, should I put in here he's not allowed to play dominoes? Stick to Jenga or Scrabble? So can you be trusted to play dominoes?
yes, I can. Yes.
Everybody trash talks during domino playing. I've been known to do it. Everybody does it.
Yes.
But you can't get upset. You can win, another day. Maybe you'll win that day.
You're right.
All right. When I play dominoes with my brothers, guess what? Sometimes I win, and the reason why I win is because there's no strategy to my playing of dominoes. And they will always tell me, Stephanie, you just locked the game down on your own self. Why would you do that? And I'm like, because I only have a double 5. So I only have 10. How much money do you all have with your dominoes? I'm like, yay, I win.
Yeah.
And then once I win, I walk away because I know I'm going to lose the next rounds. So, all right. Court is finding you guilty. Court will sentence you to 1 year in the Bexar County Jail, suspended and probated for 2 years. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. There's to be no contact with Brandon Collins. If you want contact with him, he needs to come in and let me know he's okay with having contact with you. There's going to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Regular random UAs. Have you ever had any mental health diagnosis?
No, ma'am.
There's going to be anger management. Do you have any children?
No, ma'am.
Who do you stay with?
I stay by myself.
Proof of employment. Yes.
With that, I was saying, when all this went down, I was in the process of getting my current ID. It's expired at the moment, so proof of employment, that might take some time.
All right, proof of employment within 30 days, no employment as a home healthcare provider or with minors. Field visits, 1 time per month for 3 months. Probation, is there anything else?
No, no.
Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
No, ma'am.
All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak with an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, is there anything else you need from the court?
No, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. I've been trying to get dominoes in as an Olympic sport. You've set the sport back. All right, do better, okay?
Yes, ma'am. It's all your fault.
All right, good luck.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
I've never played dominoes.
Oh, you need to play dominoes.
Uh,
It's a great game.
I will say this. If they let breakdancing as an Olympic event,
I was shocked by that.
I couldn't believe that.
And I'm telling you, dominoes should be an event.
If breakdancing is, I agree. And it is. Thank you, Judge.
All right, have a good one.
No.
Yeah. No problem.
I do. Who's here on Christopher Trevino? Court is calling 2023 CR 4277, State of Texas versus Christopher Trevino. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Orlando Costino for defense.
And are you Mr. Trevino? Counsel, have you received all of the discovery and did you review it with your client?
I have, Judge.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Are there any applications?
No, Judge.
Mr. Trevino, did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
I do.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented? All right, Mr. Trevino, did you review court admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Apologies,
Your Honor, for interrupting your waging count two and all the proceeding on count one.
Any objection?
No, Judge.
Did you understand you're charged with unlawfully carrying a weapon with a felony conviction as a second-degree felony? Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand? If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand? Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent? You're gonna have to speak up. Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights? And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case? Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Judge.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Trevino, has anyone threatened you, forced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Ma'am.
According to the plea, the state is proceeding on count one. Punishment is to be assessed at 4 years in the prison. This is the run concurrent with 2024 FC 1227D. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea?
Yes, Judge.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Judge.
Then to the offense as charged in count one, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence.
Saying the things that are one of the tests, Your Honor.
No objection.
State you may be excused. Did you review the waivers with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments. The court is reviewing the document. It appears on page 2 of the police report. It says, I approached the driver's side, and that's been scratched through and it's been changed to back left passenger. And I believe initials are there.
I'm not sure if I actually say that.
So I don't know if that's something.
That was not done by the prosecutor. That was something that was done on regards to the defense report itself, I believe.
Also, when you say defense, you mean the
police report, I believe that was actually on the police report draft.
all right, so no objection to that being there. Okay. All right, thank you, State. After reviewing State's exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Judge.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
No, Judge.
All right, the court will follow your agreement. The court will sentence you to 4 years in the prison give you credit for any time served. This will run concurrent with 2024 FC 1227D. Is there anything else with regards to sentencing?
No, Judge, other than that, he's been in Nueces County Jail since he was arrested back in March. And he just returned from there to Bear County here this past week.
All right, if you have the time, just make sure that the clerks are aware of it.
Okay, Judge.
All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
No.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand? All right, we can go off the record. How old are you, sir? All right, let me just tell you, at some point, and honestly, it's time when you reach the age of 30, years just start rolling by. You're gonna have to make some changes. Otherwise, you're gonna look up and find that you've spent the majority of your life in prison, and I don't think anybody wants to do that, right? All right, and no more face tattoos, okay? All right, good luck to you, okay?
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Excuse.
All right. Okay, I'm sorry, that goes with that. Desiree Tina.
Hi, Judge. How are you this morning?
Hello, I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm good, maybe.
All right, so is this going to be contested or no?
No, I think we have an agreement to terminate this unsatisfactory.
All right, we'll go on the record. Court is calling 2020 CR 10018. State of Texas versus Desiree Tina. Are there going to be pleas of truth?
I don't think so. I believe we've agreed to terminate unsatisfactory.
Probation?
Judge, I don't know if,
Oh, have y'all conferred with probation?
Well,
we talked about the recommendation, Judge, but I don't know if we were gonna proceed with that for NTR or if it's gonna be.
All right, so if y'all want to talk to her
I
about that.
apologize.
That's
I
okay.
thought since we were in.
All right, okay, thank you. Vincent Alfonso. Court is calling 2024 CR 008375, State of Texas versus Vincent Alfonso Jr. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state? Defense?
Will Brooks for the defendant, Judge.
And are you Mr. Alfonso Jr.?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all of the discovery?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review it with your client?
Yes, Judge.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Alfonso, did you review the document entitled Application for Community Supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, we do, Judge.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Alfonso, did you review the document entitled Court Admonishments with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places? Did you understand you're charged with unlawful possession of a firearm by a felon? That's a third-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand? If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered the plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, he has, Judge.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, I do, Judge.
Mr. Vincent, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 6 years in the prison. There's a $2,000 fine. State recommends community supervision. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in both places? Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
We have a pretrial motion with a ruling, Judge, but it was just in respect to bail.
All right. Outside the agreement, the state is recommending that your community supervision be for a term of 6 years and there be 200 hours of community service restitution. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence.
And then exhibit 1 in attachments, Your Honor.
No objections to states 1 or attachments, Judge.
All right, state, you may be excused. Did you review the document entitled Waiving Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We'll wait. Yes, I do.
Right, so they're mentioned here about Arkansas issues. Have those been addressed?
They have not, Judge. He's not been extradited. He remained in custody for 91 days, I think, Your Honor. If there is anything to address, certainly he stands prepared to address it. I think in respect to the underlying offense, Judge, sometimes when we're presented with something like time served, we don't consider the implications about possessing firearms later. This situation, I think, is a little more contentious than the police report would lead the court to believe, and that, you know, somebody buys a car and they're not satisfied with it, and all of a sudden they report it as stolen, things of that nature. So
Okay.
I think
And I see that they said that the vehicle was
that's correct, Judge.
not reported stolen. I didn't know people were buying vehicles off of Facebook Marketplace. They're doing a lot on Facebook and Marketplace.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. All right, so with regards to this gun, state, did you want the gun destroyed?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, is there going to be objection to the destruction of the weapon?
No objection, Judge.
All right, so the weapon will be destroyed. The court will sentence you to a $2,000 fine that will be probated. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular UAs, sentence you to 6 years in the prison, suspended and probated for 4 years. There's to be proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider with minors, destruction of the weapon, field visits, one time per month for 5 months. If you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
Negative.
All right. They're going to test you, okay?
Okay.
Do you have any children?
Yes.
What are their ages?
At 118, 16, and 13.
All right. And then I'm going to ask for 200 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to order parenting classes. Once he completes those, then the community service hours will be deemed satisfied. You're not supposed to have weapons anyway, but I'm still going to order a gun safety course. Probation, is there anything else? Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful? All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what that is, you need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you. Make better choices.
Judge, one request.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what needs to happen, whether it's a directive, but as a condition of his reduced bail, the court ordered GPS.
Mhm.
He is satisfied that condition has had no violations, but I don't know if there needs to be a
State
directive.
any objection to removal of GPS?
No, Your Honor.
All right, the court will order that GPS is to be removed.
Nothing further, Judge. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Just have a seat and probation will go over conditions.
Will the MTR file be in there too?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Tina. Oh, no. Court is calling 2020 CR 10018, State of Texas versus Desiree. Tina, can I have parties announced for the record for the state? Defense.
Lauren Lefton for Miss Tina.
And are you Desiree Tina?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Did you review the document entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Desiree Suzanne Tina who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2020 CR 10018 for the offense for injury to a child, bodily injury, reckless on April 28, 2021 for a period of 2 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state.
We're moving forward with condition number 5, in Bear County and or Fort Bend County, Texas, the defendant Desiree saying Jenna did then and there failed to report the supervision officer as directed for the months of January, February, and March 2023 in violation of condition number 5.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
All right.
State will be waived and remain.
Any objections to the waivers?
No, Your Honor.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 5, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, and sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 5?
Yes.
All right, court will find violation of condition number 5 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
There is, Judge. We ask
Yeah.
that the court deny the motion and terminate her unsigned.
All right, is that what's being requested?
That is our understanding, and just so the court can be aware, since our last court setting, our client did complete the anger management course, some community service, and did pay her outstanding balance in full. So to show the court how seriously she did take this MTR.
Okay, so can you raise your right hand for me, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Desiree Tennant,
All right, so what have you learned from being on probation?
a lot of things, anger management for one, and just learning to take a breath and removing myself from bad situations before they get out of hand, and just being very cautious who I'm around and what the things that I do and how they may affect the people around.
Okay. All right, then the court will deny the motion. And your probation is terminated unsatisfactorily. Good luck to you. If you ever need anything, if I'm here, you know, you can always come back.
Thanks.
All right, you're welcome.
May we be excused?
Yes.
Thank you,
Have a
Your
great
Honor.
day.
You too. Sorry, can I have that file back? Let me just put this in here. I hit save and it didn't print in the judge's note what I wanted to be. Ah, yes, thank you. Timothy Guadalupe.
Okay. Guadalupe.
Oh,
okay.
sorry, yes, Roque,
That is mine, Judge.
yes. And where is he?
He is right there.
Oh, come down. All right, so what is happening with this case, counsel?
Judge, apparently, I just found out that he has another case pending. I believe it's sealed from
Okay.
October. And he also has a couple more misdemeanors.
We're trying to see if we can resolve all together, Judge. I have 2 weeks.
Yes.
Felony case is awaiting indictment and it's sealed.
You want to come back on the 14th? October 14th?
Sure, that sounds good.
All right. Norma, Roque is going to come back on October 14th. He has a sealed case. All right, is there anything else?
No, Your Honor.
All right, do you have any questions, sir? All right, we'll see you back on the 14th, okay?
If I get it, if you couldn't send me, you can email me, and then I'll get in contact with you and share. Okay?
All right, Michael Johnson. All right. How long do y'all expect the jury trial to last? All right, I need a 2-day reset family violence jury trial. Hello. All right, we'll come back on November 4th. All right, thank you.
Judge, is there any way to do a different date? I have two cases in Kendall County and they have docket effectively once a month.
Okay, let me see.
I could do the 6th, Judge.
You know what, Norma? There will be something going to trial that day, correct?
Yes.
All right, recall this then for November 6th.
Thank you, Judge. I apologize for that.
No problem.
Appreciate it.
All right, everyone, the court's gonna take its recess. And we'll be back at 1:30.